Lesson 2-3, the coordinate plane. So now we're going to take a look at coordinate planes. A coordinate plane is created when two number lines intersect, creating quadrants is what we call those. So if you see here, we have the y-axis, which is what we would call vertical. It's running up and down, and the x-axis is here, and that is running horizontal or left to right. You also have quadrants that start in the top right-hand corner and they go counterclockwise. So you have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. We identified the origin as the center of the graph, which is where the two lines of the coordinate plane meet. In the ordered pair for that is 0, 0. When we're creating an ordered pair, you're using that pair of numbers to locate a point. So let's look at the point that's on this graph right here. So when we write ordered pairs, we always write the set of ordered pairs as x and y. Your x value comes first, your y value comes second. So I need to first move to the x to see where it is. So I move 1, 2, and 3. My point lines up with the 3 x value, so I would write 3. And then we need to figure out where it lines up with the y value. So it lines up with the negative 2. So my ordered pair for this point would be 3, negative 2. So when we are naming ordered pairs, or we're giving the points, just as you saw in the previous slide, you start with the origin, which is in the center. You move left or right on the axis to find the x-coordinate. So you want to find where does that point intersect the x-axis, and then you move up or down to find where it intersects the y-axis. So if we were looking at point A, we would be able to say the ordered pair for point A, we find where it intersects the x, which is negative 3, and we find where it intersects the y, which is negative 5. So you would be able to say the ordered pair for A is negative 3, negative 5. Now when graphing an ordered pair, you do pretty much the same thing, but this is where you're going to have a blank graph and you have to figure out which way it goes. So we know, because we've talked about number lines, that everything to the left of a number line is negative and everything to the right of the number line is positive. When we're looking at a horizontal, that's true, but when we're looking at a vertical line, so the y-axis, everything down is negative and everything up is positive. So for this point, if we were trying to graph negative 4, we would travel over 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's where my y-axis, or my x, is going to be. And then my y-axis is going to be a positive 2, so it's going to go up 1, 2. So we figure out where those 2 points meet, and they meet right there. So then we would just label that point, whatever the letter is, and we're going to label it L. So pause the video for a second here and try a few examples. When we're using coordinate points, I have little sticky notes that are small graph papers. They are located in the back right-hand corner of the classroom on the paper dividers. You can just take a whole sheet if you'd like. There's about 6 to a sheet. And you could just peel them off just like stickers and place them in your notebooks. So if you're watching this video for homework, unfortunately you won't have those, but if you come into class and you're doing work using coordinate points or graphs, you can use those. So take a few seconds just to sketch a picture of these coordinate points. So the first one, if we were just sketching a picture, make sure that your x and y axis always have arrows at the end, because you need to make sure that you're showing that those go on and on forever. So if we're graphing -5 for the x, we know we go in the left-hand direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we have to go up 3, 1, 2, and 3. So my point would be about right here. Now we have 0 for the x, which means you don't have to travel anywhere for x, you just stay at the origin, and then you go up for 1 for the y. And then the last example we have is 2, -5. So it tells us to travel +2 and then -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. My graph kind of ran out of space, but my point would be approximately right there. So just one thing to remember is that when you're locating an ordered pair, up or right means positive. So if you are going up or right, everything in this direction is always positive. Remember that if you're going down or left, then you're looking at negatives. Now, depending on where you are in this area, okay, if you're in the bottom right hand, your x is always going to be positive, but your y is going to be negative. And if you're in the top left, your x is going to be negative, but your y is going to be positive. Pause the video to complete the lesson review. Make sure you show me your lesson review for verification of this video.